Hey, what's going on, guys? In today's video I'll be giving you guys a course or a lecture on support and resistance. Now I believe that I am going to make a full course on this, as well as other things such as chart patterns, Fibonacci retracements, simple moving averages, exponential moving averages, candlestick patterns, my strategies, VWAP indicators, supply and demand zones, all these things that can benefit you as a trader and can enhance your trading if you guys are already experienced. But this is more towards the beginner side, or I mean, you guys are welcome to join if you guys are experienced. Maybe you guys can learn some new things, but this is pretty much just a full course. All right, I'm trying to keep these videos relatively short, but in today's course, we're going to be learning about horizontal support and resistances. They're very easy to learn, yet very effective if you can implement them to your trading, whether it's day trading, swing trading, whatever the case might be. They're very effective, and I think you must know them in order to day trade or swing trade, right? So let's head into the video. Okay, so before we can jump into plotting support and resistance levels, I need to show you guys or tell you guys what are support and resistance levels. Now, in the most simple way, support and resistance levels are basically certain levels where these levels attract buyers and sellers to either reject or sell, or bounce or buy, right? So these levels could be any levels, right? You just need to plot them. So I'm going to draw a visual representation here. I think that this is going to be one of the best ways that you can learn. I know other people do notes and they make their books and stuff, but I just think this is the most natural way of learning, personally for me, right? So just pretend this is you. This is a bad drawing. This is a ping pong ball, and this right here is your resistance level, and this right here is your support level, right? In this course, we are going to be learning about horizontal support and resistance levels. There are many more, but you don't need to worry about it now. Let's take it one day at a time. So let's make up a random price, right? A level. Let's say this is 500. Okay, 500. And let's say this is 400. Okay. And let's make up a name for this stock. Okay. My channel name is Cruise. So this is going to be ticker Cruise, right? For you beginners, a ticker is basically just the dollar sign, the money sign, whatever you want to call it. Okay, ticker Cruise, doesn't really matter, right? Let's say this is Cruise, right? This is the stock Cruise. Now, you're going to throw this ping pong ball. Okay, you're going to throw it. What happens when you throw it, right? You're going to throw it, it's going to hit the floor. What happens when the ping pong ball hits the floor? It's going to bounce. What happens when the ping pong ball hits your ceiling? It's going to reject. Hits the floor, bounces, hits the ceiling, rejects, hits the floor, bounces, hits the ceiling, rejects, hits the floor, bounces, hits the ceiling, reject, and so on, right? We could keep doing this. Now, right? The ceiling is your resistance level, and your floor is your support level, right? Every time that the buyers approach this price level of 500, the sellers manage to push back down, and the buyers know this, and I'll explain to you in a bit. So everyone's going to sell their position here, right? This is where they see interest. This is where they're going to sell, okay? Support level is where buyers see interest, right? So whenever the buyers see 400 hit, they're going to buy the stock back up, right? So support and resistance are basically levels that attract both buyers and sellers whenever that price is reached, right? So now let's head into an example. Okay, with that beautiful representation of support and resistance, we're going to plot some levels now, right? Now, here's another key thing to know. Okay. Support and resistance levels need 2 touches, either bounces or rejects, right? To validate them as a support or resistance level. Now, what do I mean by that? If you go here, horizontal line, right? We're doing horizontal support resistance. We can see that this level of 4539.59 is a resistance level. Now, how do we know that? Well, because read this. 2 touches, either bounces or rejects. Now, this is a reject because this is a resistance level. Do we have 2 touches? 1, 2, 3. Good. We have 2 touches, and that validates this as a resistance level, right? Basically, all you need is multiple touches, right? If you see 2, 4, 5 touches, doesn't matter. All you need is 2 touches. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, does 5 touches mean a lot more? Yes, it does. If you see more than 2 touches, it can significantly mean a lot more, right? If you see 2 touches, don't worry, it's fine. Okay, now I'm going to bring this back down, right? I'm going to see if I can find another resistance level. Okay. Here's another resistance level right here. Okay, 2 touches, either bounce or reject. In this case, we're talking about resistance, so this is a reject. We have 1 touch, 2 touch, and 3 touch, right? This level of 4255.76 is a resistance level because we have 2 touches. 1, 2, 3. We have 3 touches, right? More than 2 touches, you can validate that as a resistance level. Let me bring this down, right? You guys could practice with any stock. Doesn't matter what stock it is. Boom, right here. 2 touches, either bounces or rejects. Do we have 2 touches? 1, 2, 3, 4. In this case, we're talking about resistance, so it's a reject, right? We have 1 rejection there, 2 rejections there, sell off. 3rd rejection, 4th rejection, sell off a little, sell off, right? Nothing crazy. And then we finally broke, but the whole point is we have more than 2 touches, right? Now let's look for another example. Okay. Here's another example. Do we have more than 2 touches? Yes, we do. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, right? This level of 3642.14 is a resistance level because we have multiple rejects at that level, right? Sellers see interest here every time. SPX, right? This is the stock or SPY to index. Whenever SPY hits this level, we tend to reject, right? Until finally we push through. Now, if you guys notice, there's something that happens almost always with support and resistance. Mainly resistance. Actually, it's both support and resistance. Okay. So here's another thing you must know. Okay, I'm gonna put this right here. When a resistance level is broken, okay, it will turn into support. Okay, I'm about to blow your guys' mind. Ready? This is the last example we had, right? We had 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. What happens once the buyers manage to break through? Buyers managed to break through. We came down and we retested this level. That's another phrase, a retest, right? And we pushed higher, right? We pushed up, right? After that retest. So previous resistance turned into support. That's support and resistance 101. This is what I'm teaching you guys. That you need to know. You must know that. When a resistance level is broken, it will turn into support, right? Oh, let me put that back. Okay. We have a retest here. What is a retest? After a support level is either broken or a resistance level is broken, you have to, or more often than not, you will see a retest of that level, right? So, right, we have this resistance level. Once buyers broke, right, we broke right here. Once buyers broke above, we retested that level to push higher, right? That's a retest, okay? That's an example of a retest, right? Here's another example. This actually happened previously on October 29th. Here's another example, okay? Here was our first example of resistance levels, right? We have 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, okay? What happened once buyers managed to push and break through right here? Right, with this candlestick, we pushed up, we retested the same level, and boom, we blasted off, right? More often than not, you will see that happen after a solid retest or a very good retest. Okay, now that's an example of resistance becoming support. Okay, it's very crucial to know. You can implement this to either day trading or swing trading, whatever the case might be. Okay, now here are some examples of support levels. It's the same thing. It's very simple. Right, we have 1 touch here, 2 touch here, 3 touch here. Right, this right here, 3199.82, is the level of support. All right, you guys can keep going on. Right, boom, look what I just found, guys. We have an area, or sorry, we have a level of resistance, right? 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, broke above, right? We broke above here, and then we had a retest. We pushed back up, sellers came down, okay? Then we retested again. That's beautiful price action. That's what you call a beautiful price action. That's what you want to see. And then we pushed back up, right? That's another example of previous resistance becoming support. Now, why did I say area? Trading is not perfect, guys. Now, what do I mean by that, right? We had 1 rejection, 2 rejections here, right? But you could say, but the wick was up here, and these 2 touches did not touch it, right? These 2 wicks did not touch it. So why are you putting it down here? Okay. Another thing that traders like to do, sometimes I do it, but I prefer horizontal lines, is draw areas or boxes like that, right? Because trading is not perfect. That will not always happen. You won't always have the cleanest touches like this example right here. This right here are clean touches, right? 1, 2, 3. Those are clean touches, okay? But it's clear here that every time we touch this level, we tend to reject, right? For example, this closed here, and this closed down here after touching that level, right? So many traders prefer to draw just rectangle boxes, whatever you want to call it, just rectangles. It's really a preference. Doesn't really affect anything as long as you know that that's a resistance level, again, because we have more than 2 touches. I've even seen some traders do this, something like that, right? If it doesn't touch here, it might touch there, right? It's really just a preference, but I just prefer the horizontal line. If you guys prefer the rectangular line or the rectangle, then go ahead, right? Doesn't hurt anyone. Okay, guys, so that's the end of the video. I hope you guys learned something new. This is the basis to how to draw support and resistance levels. Please, guys, practice. Screen time is very important. That's where you're going to build all the experience from. This is how you draw support and resistance levels horizontally, right? These are horizontal support and resistance levels. In the next videos, I'm going to teach you guys about moving average support and resistance levels, Fibonacci, retracement support and resistance levels, when and how to know when to enter these trades, right? So this is just the most basic video on how to draw these levels, but you have to know, right? So basically each video is going to carry on or build up from each other, if that makes sense, right? So right now we started with horizontal support and resistance levels, and then we're going to build up on mixing it with simple moving average, support and resistance levels, and the wicks, candlestick wicks, obviously, and what to look for and how and why to enter these trades, right? So we have a lot to cover, but don't give up, guys. See you guys in the next one.